Ladies and gents, we need to have a little talk. My team career mode is shit.
That was a joke, ladies. Please, guys, can we just lay off my humour, please? I know it's awful.
Look, in all seriousness, my team is a brilliant addition to F1 2020. Probably the exact addition it needed after what has been a very copy-paste way of doing career modes over the last few years. But to appreciate the good in a game mode, I feel like we also have to talk about the bad. Or not necessarily the bad, the mediocre in a game mode. Which is why I am bringing you 7 things that I think can be improved in my team career mode. If you do go on to enjoy this video, make sure you slap a like on it and all that good stuff. And also let me know in the comments anything that you think can be improved in this game mode. But we'll start off with something nice and simple. The frequency of transfers / contract signings. When was an F1 season so just... I don't even know the word. Saturated. That's it. When was an F1 season so saturated that you have to sign a new teammate or the same teammate every half season? I don't think so. In the world of F1, there are multi-year contracts, and even if it's just for a 1 season or 2 seasons, that would be nice to have, because then you don't have to worry about having to re-sign a teammate. So... there you are, but maybe bonuses get added on and whatnot. Who knows? But in my opinion, the frequency of contract signings in my team career mode are just off the charts, disgusting, and it shouldn't nearly be as many in my opinion. Also to do with transfers, the stale nature of driver transfers also gets on my tits slightly. They're just really stale. If Vettel moves from Ferrari, he's generally retired, and whoever moves to Ferrari replaces him is an F2 driver, which is ridiculous because no F2 driver goes straight to Ferrari.
Unless their name is Lewis Hamilton.
But they're just a bit stale. Nothing outlandish goes on, like Lewis Hamilton going to Renault, Daniel Ricciardo going to McLaren. That's already happening, of course, but that would be quite nice as well. Lando Norris going to Williams, George Russell going to Ferrari. Stuff like that used to happen at the beginning of F1 2019. And then they patched it, which was a dick move, I'll be honest with you. I can't understand why they did that. So just a patch to spice up the transfers would be really nice, and if not, that is something that can definitely be improved for F1 2021. Good lord, I'll be 20 that year. Oh, Jesus, I feel incredibly old. I'm dying, ladies and gents. Number 3 is the rate of development. It's still too quick. And I talked about this for F1 2019, and it's still way too quick. Here's an example. Mr. Benjamin Tiamet Marmaduke, as you can see, started out with his car just as the 2nd slowest car. This was, of course, before any day 1 patches and whatnot, but he was the 2nd slowest car. At the end of Season 1, he's already basically top of the midfield. And then we go through, halfway through the same season, and he's nearly the fastest on the grid. That doesn't happen, I'm sorry. It's a shame because I want my team career mode to have some longevity, and while there probably is in terms of making sure that you keep ahead of the competition, at the same time, I still think the rate of development is way too quick, all things considered. And slowing that down a bit to maybe it taking 3 seasons, 4 seasons for you to get the best car would, in my opinion, improve the experience just greatly, because it's been a problem now for pretty much 3 years since F1 2018, and I would personally like to see it change to give the career mode a bit more longevity going forward. To do with development, but not the rate of development necessarily, although it could be, because durability being on the performance index is f***ed. Like, it shouldn't be on there. It creates a false standing in some kind of convoluted way, in terms of Mercedes can be the top car by almost 100 points, but really it's just because they've got a durable engine and they're no faster than your car. So it just creates a false sense of security, or like a false atmosphere in a way, that Mercedes are ridiculously fast, or whatever team is at the top in your career modes, or maybe team that's below, because they might not have got as much durability, but they might just be as fast as the 2nd slowest car. So, I don't really understand it. Take durability off, please. It shouldn't have anything to do with the overall performance of the car in terms of the R&D graph. Thank you, Codemasters. Let's get our minds away from transfers and development. Why did I say transfers like that? Transfers. We live in England. No, stop it. My next thing that I would love to see come in for next year's game, or maybe later this year's game, well, probably next year's game, actually, because this one's quite a hefty one, is choosing customizations like wheelbase length. Maybe you choose a chassis with rake, etc. Having different mirror placements. Just having a bit more customization to the car would be quite nice, in my opinion. And having those different things, i.e. like wheelbase length, would give you different perks and flaws depending on what you chose. So it's kind of like I'm stealing from Motorsport Manager, essentially. No sugarcoating it. I am a stealer. I am a thief. But it's okay, because I'll be a good thief. Because if they included this, I think it would make it much better. Because right now, we're just stuck with the one car. And while it's nice to have a couple of licks of paint on it and whatnot, I do think that different customization options on the exterior side of things would be very nice. And speaking of which, livery editor. Oh my god, just one livery where you could just go ham. Put whatever sponsors wherever you want. Vinyls, like all the colours you wanted. Make it matte or gloss, I don't even care. Something like the Forza series, Forza Horizon and whatnot. That editor is sick. And I know there's licensing issues with logos and whatnot, but you've got all of the fictional sponsors. You can use them, and they can be used to help spice up the car. So while the podium pass is absolutely great, and I think it's a fantastic addition, and kind of denotes from the microtransaction side of things,
but not quite.
something like that would be quite nice. Just one livery where we're allowed to just go ham and edit whatever we want on it. So, please, Codemasters, fix that, thank you. My final gripe with my team career mode is press conferences and podium interviews are still not in the game. And that doesn't sit well with me, personally, because we had this in F1 2010, and to this day, we don't have them in the game. What is going on with that? Plus, in my opinion, adding on to that, Will Buxton's potential was completely wasted. It all comes down to one interview before you start your career mode, and then some wasted potential in the area that whenever you score points, or it's halfway through a season and whatnot, he will ask you the same regurgitated shit, and it genuinely drives me up the wall. In fact, I can probably picture the conversation between Codemasters and him right now. Hey, Will Buxton, my man, thank you so much for coming along for our My Team Career Mode project. No worries, it's not a problem. What would you like me to say then? Have I got a lot to do? No, not really. All we want you to do is do these questions for the player before the career mode starts, and then during a career mode as well. I don't want to be that guy, but this is the official Formula 1 game, and I do feel like paddock interviews, press conferences, podium interviews would be quite nice to spice up the experience.
No.
Also, we will be transferring £10 million to your bank account post questions.
You know what? F it. This is an opportunity I cannot miss.
But there you go. Those are my things that I feel like were wasted and or could be improved in F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Like I said, a brilliant game mode, but I feel like there is still some potential for it to be much better. If you did enjoy this little video on my team stuff, then slap a like on the video, like I said, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're new. We also have social medias you can check out. Links are down in the description below. But until the next video, or whatever it may be, once again, thank you all ever so much for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you very soon.